introduce you to an inspiring individual, okay? She was born without arms, but she rose above that in order to become a licensed pilot. Can you believe that? And not only is she a licensed pilot, she is also a black belter in Taekwondo. Correct? Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, here for our fireside chat, get ready to be inspired. I'm calling up on stage Miss Jessica Cox. Palakpakan po natin. Guys, you know Jessica is not even from California. She's from Arizona. And she flew here to join us today, Jessica Cox. And also, right about now, we are doing a live taping of So Jannelle TV. For those who are not familiar, So Jannelle TV is the weekly lifestyle show that serves stories of immigration and representation. And it is my honor to be interviewing today for this fireside chat, Miss Jessica Cox. Hi Jessica, how are you?
Thank you so much, Jannelle. I'm so glad to be here sharing a stage with you. Thank you to Tita Earl for connecting us to make this possible to be here all the way from Arizona.
Yan. Okay. No, thank you for making time. I guess let's start with from the very beginning, right? Can you share a bit about your early life and what shaped your confidence growing up without arms?
Yeah, you know, I grew up here in the States. My mother's from Eastern Samar, and her fighter spirit carried through when she came here, immigrated to the United States. And when I was born, she had no idea why I had no arms. It was a medical mystery. And for her, it was very difficult, but she rose above to tell me and to really believe that with God, all things are possible. So with faith, with the Filipino spirit, we went through all these obstacles to overcome them and to find a way, to find a solution. Because all of us have challenges no matter what. As I look around the room here under the tent, everyone has some challenge, but we have to rise above and be resilient.
I love that. You know, as a child growing up, you could see you were differently able, right? But at what point did you realize that limitations are just a matter of mindset?
The first time I was 3 years old and I took a ball pen, and I unscrewed the pen with my toes. And when someone saw that I had the dexterity to open this pen, they said, well, if she can do that, she can do anything. And my toes became my fingers and my feet became my hands.
And so I think it also impacts us a lot when we have people who believe in us. Who were those in your life? Obviously your parents, your mom, and who else? Like sometimes when people have faith in us, it allows us to achieve wonderful things.
Yes, I'm so blessed that I share this in my book, the importance of the maternal figures in my life, my mom and my nanay, who really believed that anything is possible. And they showed me that by all of their examples and how hard they worked to overcome their own challenges. So I had wonderful women in my life. I'm so blessed in that sense.
What about aviation? What drew you to that? You could have done any other profession. As you said, there were no limits. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you work hard. You can achieve whatever you work hard for. But why aviation?
If there's anyone who's interested in aviation, whether it's mechanic or flying airplanes, I encourage you. The reason I wanted to pursue aviation is because no one had ever done this before without arms. No one had ever flown a plane with just their feet. And it was my greatest fear.
And so what was that? What were the challenges through training that you had to endure and overcome?
There were so many challenges. The number one emotional challenge is that fear. And I think no matter who we are, we have fear in our life. And fear stands for false evidence appearing real.
I love that. False evidence appearing real. Did you hear that, guys? Can you repeat that? Fear is false evidence appearing real. Oh, I like that. Okay, go ahead.
So we all make up our fears, whatever they are, and just the best way to overcome them is to just face them head on and do it anyway.
What about socially? What were some of the experiences you've had socially, maybe negative or positive, that have nonetheless influenced you in the way you view yourself and you view life?
Sometimes people would see me and think that I'm disabled and handicapped and would say things like, you can't do it. And that made me very angry at times because who's to say what one can achieve? We should be ultimately the ones to determine that in our own lives, for all of us, no matter who we are. So we all make up our fears, whatever they are, and just the best way to overcome them is to just face them head on and do it anyway. Sometimes people would see me and think that I'm disabled and handicapped and would say things like, you can't do it. And that made me very angry at times because who's to say what one can achieve? We should be ultimately the ones to determine that in our own lives, for all of us, no matter who we are.
Guys, we're used to saying disabled. It's not that. Differently able. Alright? Can you repeat that? It's differently able, right? It's not disabled. And I also like the fact that you rose through challenges, and you did mention you're not just rising through challenges, you're also conquering your fear. So what was going on in your mind, through your head when you flew solo?
The first time I flew solo was the most incredible experience. Just to be free in the sky with no one else there in the airplane, by myself with just my feet and relying on my own skills. The accountability is immense. And that feeling of, I can do this, is so incredible. I can overcome the fear. It is the most empowering experience one can experience when you fly a plane by yourself.
All right, Jessica, guys, she's the first, licensed armless pilot in the world, right? That deserves a round of applause, guys. Okay, first licensed armless pilot in the world. That in itself is a feat. But Jessica here did not stop there. She has also gone on to become a black belt in Taekwondo and a certified scuba diver. Wow, right? Jessica, what pushes you forward? Like I said, you could have stopped at being the first licensed armless pilot in the world, but that's not enough.
No, it's great because for me, if it hasn't been done, it needs to be done. And for all of you, if anyone ever challenges you, make it all the more reason that you are going to do it and to prove people that yes, you can.
I love that. That deserves another round of applause. If it hasn't been done, it has to be done. Keep that in mind. How do you define resilience, and how has that evolved through the years, through your experiences?
Well, no matter who we are, we have hardship in our life, and as my mom growing up in the Philippines, and she came from poverty in Eastern Samar, she was resilient with her family and her sisters. And even though she lost her father at the age of 1, she was able to go to school. So that resilience, that hardship sometimes stretches us to really test what we can do, and it makes us stronger.
I love that. And so also, I think daily habits, right, shape us. They say, greatness doesn't come like one time, big time. Greatness is an accumulation of the things that you do consistently. So what are some of your daily habits that keep you resilient, strong in spirit, and mentally focused?
Well, when you talk about resilience, I want to share with you the quote about persistence. Persistence isn't one long race, it's many small races, one after the other. And I think for me, as far as building my resilience, I have to always do something that makes me a little uncomfortable because that stretches who we are. But there's also balance. So finding the balance of doing something that challenges you and at the same time being reflective and having time to just relax as well. It's important.
Right, I love that. Finding the balance between doing something that challenges you, but also finding that balance, balancing that with something that relaxes you. And speaking of balance, how do you balance being an inspiration, but also at the same time being seen as a real person, with real feelings, like not just a poster child put on a pedestal?
Yes, balance in that sense is so important because we're all human and we want that sense of being just who we are. We're not super inspirational, no one needs to feel sorry for us, but we just want to be who we are. And so finding that and advocating for that and making sure that you do feel that sense of this is who I am, and regardless of what happens, like the saying goes, no one can make you feel inferior without your permission. I love that quote. So it's really finding that balance.
Wow, really learning a lot about inspiration, about resilience from Jessica Cox. For those of you who are just joining us now, we are talking to Jessica Cox, the first licensed armless pilot in the world. She is also a black belt in Taekwondo and also a certified scuba diver and also now an author. Yes, this is her book. She has a booth here. Make sure that you grab a copy and she will sign it for you as well.